Hi there, Tracy here, and I'm going to be sharing with you my process for documenting my December. I'm doing a December de-stressed and documented approach to documenting my holidays this year. And the one thing to keep in mind when it comes to documenting your holiday memories is that they all take place within the context of December being just a regular month when regular things happen. We still have to work, we still have to send our kids to school. We had some car repairs and everybody got sick, and lots of things have happened this early December. And so, no matter how prepared you are, I think the biggest thing is that you really have to just go with the flow when the time comes. And so here I am working on December the the 6th and the 13th. And today is November. No, not November. Today is December 19th. So I am quite a bit behind. But today, what I thought I would do, one of the prompts is the ghost of Christmas past. And I decided that I wanted to scrapbook about the Quality Street chocolates, how they've changed over the years, and how the tin has changed over the years, and also a little bit about how life has changed over the years. And so I'm starting by, it's a rough life, but I had to just eat those 3 Quality Street chocolates because I needed the packaging for my scrapbooking page that I'm interested in doing today. So first, this is completely unrelated to either December 13th or 6th, but I thought I would use this packaging for the Rafiki bracelet that I bought recently. It's really like this really pretty Christmas plaid, and that plaid is really trendy right now, so I thought it would be nice to capture it in my documented December so that I can remember that that print was in style this year. And also so that I could remember that I was wearing Rafikis a lot over the past. I've actually been wearing those Rafiki beaded bracelets for the past probably 3 years, but I'm really wearing them pretty much daily now. So I thought I would capture that. That's a special holiday Me to We Rafiki bracelet. And those are bracelets that are made by women in Kenya, and of the $10 that you use to purchase the Rafiki, 5 of it goes to charity, and the other 5 gets reinvested in the Me Too We company. Pardon me, I am still struggling with my sickness. But what I have here is 3 photos of Quality Street chocolates. I had another one, but I decided that I didn't need to use it. I was going to do like a now and then. The tin that they used to have back when I was a kid is that single tin that's off to the, I guess, kind of to the right of where my hand is right now. That tin has all these scenes all around the edges of it, and I'll talk about that when I go to do the journaling. But then I had another tin printed up from current day Quality Street chocolates, and then also just a close-up of the chocolates themselves. But then I saw on the internet this really cool photo that somebody put together that just shows how the tin has changed over the years. It really shows how there's far fewer chocolates these days than there were back in the day. And I thought that that was just kind of cool. So I thought I would work on that. Use that. So I'm using the Hip Kit Club Christmas or December documented kit, and I'm just trying to make it so that all 4 of the cards on this page will have a similar print. It doesn't have to line up exactly perfectly, but I want it to mostly line up. So that's the way it's going to work. And that was a piece of 12 by 12 paper. It's exclusive to the kit, and I really love it. So I've been cutting it down and using it as some of my 4 by 6 background cards. And so now I'm also going to use these wrappers as layers for beneath the photos. And this is the point at which I thought I would just use 2 of the photos. And I really like how that number 6, and I just had to make sure that it wasn't accidentally the number 9 that I was using. So I checked on the numbers that are in the Hip Kit Club. I was talking about something else when I did that, but I just wanted to point out that when you use the number 6, be sure that you're not accidentally using the number 9. Sometimes they're interchangeable, and sometimes it has a little TH or a line under the number 9 to suggest which direction it goes. So you just want to make sure that you're not getting the wrong one. So now I'm looking at the Snow and Cocoa Ephemera pack, which came with the kit, but I actually haven't opened mine yet because I'm thinking I might not use it. I'm not entirely sure because I already got that collection from American Crafts before I got my Hip Kit Club kit. And so I already have one open that I haven't really used, so I thought I would just dig into that one instead. You see I pulled out a couple of embellishments there, including that acetate word joy and then a couple of snowflakes and a tag as well. Now I'm using these Pink Fresh Studio Oh Joy letter stickers that came in the kit, and they're chipboard letter stickers. I was going to spell out Christmas past, but then I was pretty sure I could find Christmas somewhere else in the kit already spelled out. That will save me some room. I thought the word Christmas spelled out in that font would just be too huge for what I want for this project. So I'm cutting the word Christmas off of another phrase sticker. Or it's not really stickers, but those cut aparts from the Hip Kit Club. And it said a phrase that I don't think I was going to use. I think it said the night before Christmas, and I rarely use that phrase, so pardon me. I am now cutting out some other phrases that I think might go along with this. So I think that says, actually, I didn't end up using those, so I can't remember which ones I cut out, but you might see them up close when I zoom in a little bit later. These are the Freckled Fawn word stickers that came with the Freckled Fawn Very Merry kit, and I have that one as well, and that includes those gold stars and a couple of other things that I'll point out as I go. I thought about using those pom-poms that came in the Hip Kit Club, but I'm not going to. These are the 3x4 cards that came in the Hip Kit Club. And this is their documented kit. It's not their regular scrapbooking kit. It's their special December kit. So now I've added that third photo into the bottom, and I'm going to put the journaling pieces diagonally on either side of the row of photos, so that one is up here and one is down there. I'm going to cut off the phrases above the journaling pieces because it's not really relevant, and I like them plain a little bit better. I know that I wanted to document about how I used to love the tin, but then I also wanted to document about the chocolates themselves. And so I thought 2 chunks of journaling would probably be needed here. And then you see I made that cluster using the 6 and the Christmas and then the letters in the word past. And I just grabbed the star sticker from that letter sticker set. And now I just used a water-soluble pencil because I couldn't find my regular pencil. I think a regular pencil would have been a lot better because I could have erased the pencil marks, but I'm going to do some mixed media on these. And so I'm using repositionable dots from Scrapbook Adhesives, which is a 3L company. And I'm just placing these together so that the mixed media that I do on them will be spread across them as if it started off as one full piece of paper. I have grabbed my white gesso, which is from Golden, and I made some marks to show where the title would go. So I added a little patch of gesso where the title will go, and then another big strip of gesso here where the layers and the photo will go, and then another one here, and then I just decided to just cover the whole thing in a really, really messy way. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of a thicker coat. I want to be able to see the pattern below, and I definitely want the pattern to be darker around where my layers are not going to be. But I'm just taking my small brayer here. I think it's a 4-inch brayer, and it's by Speedball. I love brayering things, and it doesn't really, I could have just brushed this on because this white Liquitex ink, in this case, I'm spreading it so thinly that it's very, very transparent and you're not really going to see. I mean, I guess the nice thing about using a brayer is that you don't see brush marks. It spreads stuff out really, really thin, and it doesn't give you any brush marks at all. And I do really like the look of a brayer, but in this case, it doesn't look all that obvious that I used a brayer, but that's okay. it gives you softer edges, I find, than a brush does. And that's just, I mean, it's white on white, so it's just another layer. It just makes the whitest parts even whiter, and then it just kind of spreads itself out around the edges of where the brush marks were, so that it basically softens off the brush marks that I intentionally left. I intentionally used a brush that had really strong, hard bristles because I wanted the brush marks to show, but now I'm just kind of softening them up a little bit. And now I'm using that same brush that has really hard bristles, and I'm using it almost like a toothbrush here. I am flicking it with my finger to get a really fine spray of ink splatters all around the places that I think will show after I'm finished layering everything that I plan to put on there. So now I'm going to put away my ink and clean myself up a little bit with some baby wipes. I don't have a sink nearby, so most of the cleaning that I do is using baby wipes. And now to give these cards a little bit of unity, I'm using my Micron Pigma pen, and I am going to outline around just the outside, so not the inner edges, but just the overall outside edge. So 2 different edges of each of these cards will get the marker outline. I'm double outlining it, and I think I'm using a 0.05 pen for that. And that just brings the whole thing together and frames it all in so that your eye will see it as a whole. And then the other thing that I thought that I would do to make it obvious that all of these cards are part of this, it's basically the same layout. It's going to be cut into 4 different pieces and put into 4 different pockets. The other thing that I decided to do to emphasize the fact that this is one layout is extend some of the elements across the pockets. And so those photos, for example, will span across multiple pockets. I'm just going to stick those little snowflakes in place as extra layers. And now I'm almost ready to stick them down. I just have that white mat behind me there. It's just a little bit smaller than my Triplus Art palette, which I often use as a background when I'm doing mixed media, and you saw me use it a few minutes ago. I replaced it with this white because basically there's still some not quite dry, meaning wet, gesso on the back sides of some of these cards, and just things are a little bit messy, and I don't want to mess up my Martha Stewart grid mat, so I'm just using my Heidi Swap white nonstick mat. This is very similar to the brown or tan colored Tim Holtz nonstick mat, but it's just white, so it's prettier. I have a couple of them floating around my craft room, and so I'm using it here. Pardon me, I'm only outlining parts of the snowflakes because I intend to layer a good part of them behind the layers that are already there. So for this, what I'm doing is I'm laying down the parts onto the card that it's mostly on, and then making sure that the cards are together so that I can just basically cut through where the card is and have the items overlap, if that makes any sense. I'm not entirely sure that I narrated that properly, but I think you know what I mean by just watching what I just did. Hopefully you saw that. I'm going to do the same with the wrappers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place each photo on its respective wrapper. So the Quality Street Chocolates goes on the red wrapper, which is incidentally my very favorite Quality Street chocolate, is the one with the strawberry cream. I'm very lucky in that my favorite Quality Street chocolate happens to be the one that no one else likes, which is that really strong flavored strawberry cream. I absolutely love that one. I didn't love it when I was a kid. I used to hate that one, and the orange one too. I used to hate both of those. But since I've been an adult, I've really changed my tastes, I guess, and I really love the creams. And I'm just trying to layer these so that they look kind of interesting and like they're not too lined up. So I made this photo go off the edge on the left-hand side so that more of the wrapper was showing on the right-hand side. and that will extend. And now I have this dilemma where the wrapper, that gold wrapper under this last photo, is just not big enough to extend the whole way. So I'm taking one for the team. I ran upstairs and grabbed another Quality Street chocolate, and I'm writing the things I do for art. I will do this for you guys. So I am just going to unwrap that. First, I had to pose a photo, of course, for my Instagram. I'm not sure if that's going to make it on my Instagram or not, but it's a potential Instagram photo there. And I'm just going to unwrap the second matching wrapper. I wanted it to be the same wrapper, just extended across this much wider photo than the other ones. And I ripped it a little bit when I opened it. It's really delicious. It has a soft caramel inside. It was good. I enjoyed it. And now I'm going to layer these in a way that just looks nice. I think I just glued down the journaling piece there so that I can layer this part. You just have to be careful on these foil wrappers. They're very delicate, and sometimes the ATG gun will rip it. So you just want to kind of go very carefully. I think maybe using a smaller runner here or even liquid glue might help, but I do enjoy my ATG, so I'm using it here. The other thing that helps is applying the glue to the surface that is not the wrapper, and then sticking it that way can help. So I put this one down first because it's going to go underneath of the green one, so that the green layers will layer on top of both the red wrapper and the gold wrapper. Again, I'm just, trying to do it very slowly and carefully so that I don't mess up the foil. And now I have this strangely glued together four cards. So I'm just going to take my scissors and work my way through. And sometimes the photo wasn't stuck properly, so that's okay. I can piece it all together afterwards. There we go. And now I'm just going to glue that one down like that. I'm taking my Tombow Mono Multi adhesive because it's a very strong glue. It's great for non-paper surfaces. And so I'm just using that in some cases. So I didn't want these pieces to be floating around too much in the pocket, just to make it easier to slide the cards into the pockets at the end. So I just used some more Tombow Mono Multi adhesive over there. Now I find that once these are glued down, I can't stick the pieces of the snowflake underneath anymore. So I'm just going to trim it off. That's even better because then I can just use the other part of that snowflake on another project. I'm going to stick it down, trim off the edge, and then I'm going to put the other edge, and I didn't film it, but I just stuck the other edge up on the other card with another little bit of Tombow Mono Multi adhesive. I ran out of video card there, so I had to change camera cards and keep going. And now I just decided to outline a little bit more just so that those pieces of discontinued rays, I guess, of the snowflake would be, just in case you saw them. I wanted them to be outlined. You're not going to see much of them. And then I proceeded to cut them off anyways. And now I am tucking this in so that, and then I'm just going to move it actually, because the other way I would have had to have cut off too many little bits of the second ray there, or the second arm of the snowflake. And so I just moved it so that I only had to cut off one of the arms of the snowflake, just to make it easier. I'm flirting with the idea of using these little pieces of mistletoe, even though they're not really working all that well. I thought maybe once the journaling is in place, they might, but they're not going to. So now I'm just placing that diagonally designed 6 so that the diagonal of the 6 runs right exactly in the same place as the diagonal of the stripe on the background paper. I'm layering the word Christmas that I cut out from a hip kit cut apart, and then I'm just going to remove the backing from these chipboard letter stickers, and I will put them all in place. They don't have to be perfect, but I don't want them to be terribly crooked either. So I'm just taking a few minutes to stick them in place. And then I will put this little chipboard star that came with the letter stickers right in place there. And I like how that looks. And the only thing that it's missing is a little bit of stitching. I would like to run some white stitching along the word Christmas that kind of overlaps onto the background, but I'm not actually going to do that today. I might do it at the end of my whole project. I might go through and pull out selected cards and sew on them. So this says, back when I was a kid, I loved the Quality Street chocolate tin. I remember sitting, looking at the tin for a long time and making up stories about the man and woman on the side of the tin. All the scenes sparked my imagination. And I think it's really interesting that the tin is so much more boring and it's very commercial now. It was very artistic before, and now it's just kind of like, look at these chocolates. I used to really like the scene with the man on the bicycle and the man and the woman walking and them in the carriage. And I used to make up like little stories of them, and it was fun. The second journaling piece says, nowadays the tins are smaller, some of the chocolates have changed, and kids don't spend as much time daydreaming anymore, but we still love getting a tin each year. And I think that that's the idea that I really wanted to capture here, was the idea that really kids don't sit and daydream. Like I remember sitting and gazing at my Christmas tree and looking at the tins and the packaging and just sitting and looking. And I must have been quite small. I'm just doing a little bit of outlining here, and I'm just outlining the 6 and then the very bottoms of the letters of the word Christmas, just to give them a little bit of anchoring. And that's just a tiny little detail that is very entirely optional. Yeah, and so that's basically the Christmas past that I wanted to document. And so I'm going to slip these in place right here. There are a couple of gaps in my book, and it's okay if I need to shift them around afterwards. That's all right. It's not the end of the world. And now I'm taking some pictures, which you will see at the end, because at this point I thought I was done. I'm just going to kind of enjoy. I like flipping and looking at my book. And then I decided I'm going to move this to a completely different page sometime in the future. And then I thought I would take, these are those numbers from the Hip Kit Club, and they just go 1 through 25. And I just wanted to, I find it hard to find the numbers that I need. And so if I keep putting the numbers that have already gone past in the pockets, it'll get easier and easier as each day goes by of me scrapbooking for me to find the numbers that I need. And it also just holds the space for the days that I'm missing. So the 7th and 8th will be Christmas present and Christmas future, in the opposite order than that to what I just said. And so I will scrapbook those soon. I don't have a story for them quite yet, but I do have some photos and an idea for Christmas tree, which was the prompt for the 13th, which was my birthday. And so I'm going to start by cutting up another piece of that 12 by 12 paper that came in the kit, and I cut it wrong so that the chevron would have gone sideways. And so I had to cut it down a little bit more, cut it to 4 inches instead of 6 inches, and then cut it to 6 inch. For that card that the 13th will go on. Now, I'm cutting this out with a little bit of a border, not realizing that I actually intended to put this one in a pocket by itself, in a 3x4 pocket by itself. So I'm going to cut it down. It has a frame already on it from my Snapseed app, which I use, and I do have a video about the Snapseed app that has Glamour Glow and vignetting on it and a border, all from Snapseed. And I don't often put any other like words and stuff on my photos because I'd rather do that in real life, like with my scrapbooking supplies. So I just am putting the word 13 so that it covers up the TV screen that's in the side of my photo. And we normally take that picture down off the wall when we have our Christmas tree up. But this year we forgot. See that weird abstract art? It's actually like a conversation piece. It's kind of hideous. I don't love it, but people always kind of stare at it and wonder. I think they're kind of politely wondering, what on earth is that? Every once in a while, someone will say, what is that? And I say, I don't even know. And we talk about whether it's a mussel man or if it's a lobster or whatever. Anyhow, it's a bit of a conversation piece now. So anyhow, it's up there. in the background of the Christmas tree photo. And so here I am just looking through the 3x4 photos. I love this Oh Christmas Tree. It was meant to be a filler card, but I'm going to cut it down and just put it use it as part of my 4x6 card here. And then I'm going to make this whole page be the 13th also. And so there will be 3 filler cards down here in the bottom, a tag, and then that Christmas tree made out of words. I absolutely love that. While I was choosing those pieces, I went back to my computer and printed up that double Christmas tree photo at 2x2 and again at 3x3. I wasn't sure which size I wanted it, but I'm going to use it at 2x2. And it's a diptych with the Diptych app, which is an app that I use often. And it just makes little collages of your photos, little diptychs. And I love these Oh Joy from Pink Fresh Studio, the washi stickers and also the shiny embellishments. And so I'm taking this Bring On the Twinkle and I'm putting it at the bottom of the photo, even though it covers up the nicely wrapped Christmas presents that are under there. And then I'm taking this Christmas tree one. I'm going to put it right over the polar bear's belly, just because this page is about trees and I like how it looks. It just adds a little bit of interest and a little bit more vibrancy to the bottom of that card. And I'm thinking that that card is not going to have anything behind it. So when you flip the page, I just want to have an option for what will be on the other side. I will make this be a filler card from the other side as well. And I'll probably put some type of a decoration in the middle of that Aztec looking card, or iCat, or what, I don't know how you pronounce that word. But anyhow, I have a sweater in that print. I love that print. Anyhow, I'll decorate that later. These puffy stickers are really cute, so I'm looking at some options for using them, but I can't find any. So, and again, those enamel shapes are also really cute, but I can't find a place to use them. That joy is also not going to work. I'm going to put one of these shiny mirror embellishments right here, and then I just pull the little protective coating off of it when I'm finished. Then I'm putting 3 gold staples on the Hello Snow little tag, and then the Christmas tree one right there. I just think that balances off the 2 different little clusters of embellishment that are on that 3x4 photo. And it fits with the theme. Lots and lots of Christmas trees on this little mini layout. And now I'll place this image so that it kind of extends off of that card onto the background card. And now I'll do my journaling here. And the journaling here says, after several years of trees losing their needles before Christmas Day, we finally decided to get an artificial tree. It's amazing how easy they are to put up, and since ours has LED lights, we have 2 different options, soft white lights or jeweled toned for a colorful look. So gorgeous. And then I had a little bit of extra space and I drew a little doodly tree. I'm not a fan of my own doodles, as many beginner doodlers aren't. So I don't love how the tree turned out, but it's another good example of how, it's a way to make it your own, is to add your own little doodles to things. It personalizes things, and even if you don't like it, someone else looking at it will probably appreciate your hand-drawn doodles. If you really didn't want to do that, you could add a little tiny stamp, even a roller date stamp, or the phrases from a roller date stamp, or a little star stamp or something like that could go there, or sticker or enamel dots or whatever. Now, these are just some random things that I have hanging around my scrap room on a little tray, and I knew there was a little wood veneer tag reinforcement there. That's from the Scraptastic Kit Club, when they used to do scrapbooking kits, and so I thought that would look good there. I do like to have real reinforcers, like dimensional reinforcers on my tags, so I almost always either punch one out or grab one if I have a sticker version of one or something. I use some Tombow Mono Multi to glue that in place, and then I'm taking a double layer of this gold and white twine. It's from Recollections. I got it at Michael's, and I'm just going to put that in place and then trim it a little bit shorter with my scissors. And now, rather than having it extend up onto the tree and cover it up, which would have been fine because you can just move it with your fingers, it would stick up in the pocket that it's in. I just decided to loop it around and staple it with a gold staple. That just adds a little bit of extra interest and makes it a little just a little bit different than what you would expect. I put this happy heart sticker there just because I felt like the polar bear needed a little something else. And I didn't want it to have anything that's going to grab your attention too much, so white works really well there. And then I decided to add a little bit of dimension to this card here because it doesn't have very much. So this gold star from Freckled Fawn will do the trick. Also, that happy heart word sticker on the polar bear is also from Freckled Fawn. And now I just took some pictures, which you'll see at the end. And now I'm just going to put these a few pages down the line. They'll have to be on this side in order for the tag to work the way I want it to work. But I don't know for sure that it'll be in exactly this page, but it'll be somewhere down this way. I'm numbering my memories with the numbers from the Hip Kit Club, but it's not really a day by day. It's more like these are 25 ideas from the holidays. So we're back to the 6th again, the 6th prompt, which was the Ghost of Christmas Past. And so here are the close-ups. I really love the splatter with that short, hard bristled brush. It's just a very inexpensive craft brush and I love it. I have a couple of different sizes of that one. And I always, even though they're very, very inexpensive, I always make sure I wash them out because they're one of my favorite splattering tools. So that's how that one looks in the book with the page protectors. And here's this one. And this one is more of a typical card looking layout, like it looks more like a typical pocket page spread. And I really like the combination of cards and tags and 4x6 and 3x4 that this album is affording me. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a really great scrappy week.